Hi, and welcome back to Create with Mare. Today we're going to talk about plotting, but I'm actually going to take you into my document and show you what it looks like to actually create something called my compilation outline. I have a vlog detailing a month of me doing this and putting it together in real time and kind of coming up with the concept of it based on a couple different people's plotting suggestions and methods. And I also have a video of a very succinctly me talking about kind of the theory behind it and why I do it and how you can get started, so go check that out too. Those are both in the description below. And just a quick overview background of what we're doing today. I created some different plots for my book, and I kind of pulled the book apart because it was a mess before. I wrote out different plot lines for each separate item. So I have 3 plot archetypes, so 3 different plot lines going on that are interweaving. I also wrote out each character's own journey through the plot. And what I did is I wanted to compile all of them and see at every moment in the structure of the plot, Act 1, Act 2, midpoint, bad guys close in, all is lost, climax, ending, all of that stuff. So I wrote out a separate plot for each character and then I color coded it. And so now I have an outline that I threw everything together and I pulled pieces from all of them. And so all of the information on every single character and every single plot archetype is all together in one document. And I can look back at that document for reference at any time, and it's all color-coded so I know where it came from, and I can also use it to tell if it needs to change, if I need to edit something, add something more, if there's too much of something. So it's a really good way for people who are very visual to plot when things seem convoluted and complicated. And I will say, sometimes when things seem convoluted or complicated, there is room for just cutting things, like axing subplots or extra plot archetypes. But if you just need to get your thoughts together and figure out a way to organize everything, try this. It's working super well for me. Anyway, let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome to my document. So there are 2 documents we're going to take a look at today. The first one is this one, which is my editing workshop document, and this is the one where I wrote all of my separate plots out individually. And you can see them on the side, but there's also a ton of other stuff in here because this is my giant workshop document where I put all my editing stuff. What I want to show you here is that everything's color-coded. And so in my detailed outline, there are all of these colors here, and I've blurred them out for my own privacy. But each color corresponds to a different outline, and so they're all listed. And so when you see that color, you know that it is that thing. So we've got pink for our point of view character, green for our point of view character, blue for the villain, and a bunch of other stuff that correspond to the plot archetypes and our subplots. So now we go back to our editing document, our number 1 plot, which is in pink, and that is our number 1 point of view character. So I wrote down her character arc as it follows the structure of the plot from all of this is just the typical save the cat plot points. And then we get to green, which again is our second point of view character, so he is all written in green. And it's the same plot points that he follows, but we're looking at how his arc changes over those plot points. For blue, we've got the villain, how he changes over those plot points. He's got a negative character arc, so it's going to look very different from the 2 point of view characters. But you can see that they all kind of follow the same structure. They're going through the same events. And then we have our second tier characters. So these are guys that are side characters. They're not the main ones. So in the gold, we've got our one side character for our one point of view, and our purple one is for the other point of view character. And these guys are a little bit more important than the next 2, so that kind of reddish and the electric blue or purple, those 2 are the least important characters, but they still get arcs. Those are all the main character arcs. I think there's 7 of them. There's the 4 secondary characters and the 3 kind of main characters. So then we go on to plot archetypes. So number 1 is the mystery plot. It's kind of in this teal color. So there's a big mystery arc, and it's kind of what the backbone of the story is. So it's going to lead you through the entire story. And so this one needs to be really detailed, so it's a lot longer than the others. And this tells you every moment where there's information being found, how it's found, what information is it, how it connects to the story, all that. And then we have our second plot archetype, which is the apprentice and superhero plot. So that's in this other blue kind of color. That's important. It's definitely important, but it's more secondary than the mystery plot. Then we've got in pink, of course, the romance plot. And the romance plot is not super detailed, but it did help me figure out a lot of things that I kind of thought would come naturally, but was like, oh wait, I actually need to figure this out. And so the romance plot was really, really good to write out, even though you kind of think it might come naturally. And so then we have our 3 plot archetypes, and they all just run through the plot points, and it tells you what's going on at every moment. And so while you're figuring out the mystery, you also need to keep in mind that there's a romantic subplot going on here, and at the same time, one of the characters is dealing with newfound superhuman abilities that they have to figure out and handle at the same time when all of this is going on. So I've now taken you through all these colors, and each one of them obviously has its own trajectory, it has its own arc, and now what we do is we pull all of them together into the compilation outline. They're according to which part of the plot main structure we are in. So on the side here, we've got prologue, act 1, act 2, midpoint, bad guys close in, all is lost, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And so when you go to any one of these moments, you'll see that there are specific colors listed underneath them. And that is because those colors are directly copy and pasted from the other document where I wrote out the separate plots. And so you can see exactly what's going on in each moment. So for Act 1, we've got a secondary character in the kind of burgundy there. We've got some blue, so we've got some villain. We have a purple secondary character, and we've got some pink. We've got some green for the point of view character. A lot of green, so this is his chapter, obviously. And black is all notes and stuff. Red, you can see there. Red is stuff I don't know, so there are lingering questions. And so we've got we're into Act 2 now, and so we've got more villain and some teal. So okay, the mystery is kind of taking off. And you can see that secondary character in the gold is coming back into play alongside of the mystery. And so you see how this trend goes. You can tell what's there and what's not there, and what's missing and what you plan to have in there that you maybe forgot about, or that you had envisioned maybe more of or less of. And you can kind of go and fill in those gaps and tweak things, but it's just so visual because you can just immediately see, oh, there's not enough of something. And this document is 22,000 words long. Oh, look, there's a bunch of romance. That's not surprising since it's the midpoint. But this document is really long, and that's just because I have so many elements that are being pulled in here. But say you only had a single plot archetype, a subplot, and say like one main character's arc and maybe a villain arc. That's only 4 colors that you could pull in and make sure that you're finding the right color representation at each point along the plot. That's really not too much to handle, and I don't think it would take up so much word count as I have here, because I think I'm pulling in 11 plots or maybe more, and I think there's maybe 13 colors being used, which is, I know it's a ton, and this is why I really needed this method, is because my plot was too complicated, and so this really, really helped me sort it out. And so where are we now? Okay, we are at Bad Guys Close In. So in Bad Guys Close In, we've still got a lot of mystery stuff going on. We've got our second point of view character. We've got some romance. We've got some villain stuff going on, some teal, okay, so we've still got mystery, and it's just, you can go all the way down through the plot, and it's just really clear what you need and what you don't need. And so this is the method. There's really not much more to it. It's detailed, and it's long, and it's organized, and it's color-coded. You can see what's going on at the ending. You need to make sure you have every color coming back and kind of hitting it home at the end. I mean, if you don't have a color there, you know that you've forgotten something. The next thing to ask yourself is what to do after you finish the outline.
And for me, that would just be creating scenes out of these ideas. So these aren't actually in, oh, exactly what happens. It's in a loose structure of how the plot goes, but it's not listed out by scene, and it doesn't have as much structure as I would like. So after this step, I would then go and take these ideas and make sure that all of these different plots are incorporated into scenes. And as we go back up, just look at all of the beautiful color here. Everything's represented, everything is beautiful, and you can just see where everything is. It's great, it's a roadmap. And I love this method.
Okay, that was it. That was everything that you needed to see. Try it out if you have a book that seems complicated and needs to kind of be sorted and put back into its into its rightful place. And you can see that because of the color coding, it's really easy to tell when something's in the wrong place. It's just I find it fun and easy and colorful. Take a look at my other plotting videos and my vlog. It was quite the journey, so follow along there if you want to get inspired about plotting, and if you're in that stage and it's hard, because it is hard. It always will be for me, and at least I'm really finding ways to make it fun. Also finding it successful. Try the method out if you think it could work for you. Okay, that's everything for today. Bye!